Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Tila here. If this is your first time seeing my face, hello there and welcome to my channel. And in today's video, I am doing a highly requested video, which is my bullying story, how I got past my bullying, and how eventually me being bullied became an IBS trigger. So without further ado, let's just get right on into this video. A couple things before we get started. I do want to let you guys know you guys probably want to grab a drink, grab a snack, put an earbud in, because this is probably going to be a lengthy video considering that I've been getting bullied for about 18 years now, and it's been a crazy, hectic ride. We're going through all of my school bullying, sibling bullying, what happened in college, cyberbullying. We're getting into all of that right now. Starting with pretty much things that I got bullied for literally my entire life. I still get bullied for some of these to this day. The first thing, the number one thing that people made fun of me for was actually my smile and my teeth. I will have pictures on the screen. I had really crooked teeth when I was younger, and I actually didn't get my Invisalign until I think it was like halfway through senior year of high school. So I got picked on for this a lot. I never stopped smiling, but you know, it did make me a bit self-conscious. Next, of course, 4 eyes. Glasses. I got made fun of a lot, and I've always gotten made fun of for being 4 eyes. It makes me a nerd. Look, it's the nerd girl, and everyone would just say this all the time, and I was just like, I need to see, so whatever. And the glasses, I think that bothered me the least amount, because then like once I got glasses, my sister needed glasses, so it kind of worked out. Throughout all years of schooling, I've had to always have stuff repeated to me. I didn't understand things as fast as the other kids or the other students, and I would get made fun of for being slow. So I got made fun of a lot for not only reading slow, but also, if you guys haven't been able to tell, I talk really fast in some videos, and that's usually when I feel very passionate about a subject or something that I really feel strongly about. And I got made fun of so much for talking fast, and then when I talk fast, if I'm really flustered or I'm getting upset, I will actually stutter, which I also got made fun of for, and I still actually get made fun of for that this day. Into kindergarten, the main things really were that just I was not a very likable person, I guess. So every day at recess, I would go up by the slides, and the same kid would come up behind me and push me off of the playground every single day. It actually got to the point where I stopped going on the playground and I just sat and played basketball on the court. And then there's nap time. Nap time was so not fun because every single kid in the class would pull my mat, pull my blanket, take away my pillow, poke me, make me cry, and basically made it so that everyone else that wasn't messing with me could nap, but I could never nap every single day. But then I got to the point where the teacher actually told me to go and lay by the backpack. So what I ended up doing is, if you can imagine this, there was a rack, hooks, shoe rack, and then I was underneath the shoe rack because that was the only place that I could nap in peace. And lastly, for kindergarten, there was a little birthday party disaster. So basically, the enemy of kindergarten that I had, she really did not like me, and because she didn't like me, I didn't like her. After this incident, so everyone else got a birthday invitation to her party, and it was a princess themed birthday party, more specifically Beauty and the Beast, and everyone else was pulling invitations out of their mailboxes, and I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, yay, everyone's invited. Then I got to my mailbox and I saw that there was nothing there. And you know, it turns out that my grandma actually knew one of her family members, so they talked because I said that I wasn't invited, and it upset me because, being a young child, you know, I was all for birthday parties and having fun, and I didn't get an invitation. So they actually talked and got me invited, but little did I know that I was going to be bullied and picked on the entire time we were at the birthday party. And then my grandma finally got it to where I could have a picture with the Princess Belle that was there, and then we went and did our own thing. So grandma, if you are watching this video, which I'm pretty sure you are, thank you so much for being the best grandma on the planet. I love you to the moon and back, and you are just so amazing, and I would not be who I am without you today. Moving on to first grade. So first grade, there isn't a whole lot to tell. This was pretty much where it started getting really hard to learn math, which got me picked on because it seemed so easy to the other kids, and then to me it was like, I cannot do this. I don't know how to do this. My teachers would get frustrated. But besides that, I pretty much got picked on because I was slower than the other kids. Second grade was also a pretty kind of chill year. The first thing isn't really like big, but it did make me feel very subconscious about reading in front of other kids. So when I read, you will see my lips move up and down, like kind of like silent whispering. And not only that, I would be reading comic books such as like Baby Mouse and Captain Underpants. I mean, come on, who wasn't reading that when they were little? So I was reading those and my lips would move and I would get made fun of for that. So I actually tried to hide my face with my book and I would not let other people see me. And then also had a little bit of a mishap with one of my teachers. So my teacher got so upset with me when I didn't understand a math problem on my homework assignment that she actually ripped up my paper right in front of me, threw it away, and gave me a brand new sheet and told me that I had to start over because I didn't understand it the first time. I felt so unintelligent and I was so embarrassed because everyone in the class was looking. There were people snickering or however you want to say it, and it was just so embarrassing. And I was like, come on, like, you're my teacher, you're not supposed to do that. Third grade got a little bit more dramatic, let's put it that way. So first there was a girl feud. So I had my friend at that time and then there was all the other girls in the class, and I don't even remember how this started. I just know that we were always fighting with each other. We had to be called in the hallway to try to sort this out. Like, seriously, girls that are starting to go into puberty and all this, like, seriously, we are a madhouse. This next one is very shocking. A lot of people don't believe me when I tell this one, but this has to do with the color of my skin and the color of my mom's skin. No, I'm not racist. Don't come for me in the comments. That's not what's happening here. So if I'm allowed to put a picture in this video, I will. But if not, I'm just going to tell you guys about it. So I appear white, Caucasian, okay? My mom is more Mexican than I am, and she has the skin color to show it. So one of my classmates had seen my mom and they were like, that's not your mom, you're adopted, that's not your real parent. And I, being me, I was like, yeah, that's my mom, that's really my mom, she gave birth to me. And it got to the point where this boy actually turned around and gave me a nice uppercut right in the abdomen because I said that my mom was my mom. Other classmates saw it, the teachers saw it, nothing was done. I went home and I told my mom told the principal, and they still didn't do anything. But after my mom actually went down at the school, even for a paper cut, she got a phone call. So don't mess with my mom. She's a mama bear, and mama bears don't play. So this girl really had it in for me. And it's funny because a girl that I was best friends with for a long time was actually friends with her. And this girl had it in for me. The clearest thing that I can remember about her is that she would always be telling me that I was ugly, I wasn't good enough, why did I dress the way that I did. She purposely moved away from me when I sat down. She spread a rumor that I had lice when I didn't, and she pretty much made my life very difficult in third grade. And then got to the point where we were all supposed to have like a school day with our parents, so we all brought our parents and we got put in the same group. And she straight out picked up her desk, turned it around, and said, I don't want to work with you guys. And my mom was like, that's okay, we don't want to work with you either. Fourth grade requires a little bit of a backstory. So during the year of fourth grade and fifth grade, my mom, my sisters, and I were actually homeless, and we were living in shelters at this time. So during the winter, we did not have the money to go and buy winter jackets, snow boots, snow pants, that kind of thing. So I got made fun of for wearing a raincoat during winter weathers, and I didn't have the proper shoes, and I would be standing on the pavement, freezing my butt off. It wasn't very fun, and I got made fun of for that. And my teachers were concerned. Eventually, my family actually got donated some stuff because we couldn't afford it. So after that point, that kind of simmered down. But then also the thing that happened is I kept getting asked if I was SPED. If you don't know what that means, special education. And a lot of people ask me that based on my appearance, like how my face looks, how I talk, how I read, how I learn. A lot of people thought that I was SPED, and I'm like, not to my knowledge. Like, there's nothing wrong with with that. There's nothing wrong with it. Believe me, I actually love helping special education children. But it did bug me that even though I acted just like the other kids, that someone kept asking me this, and my teachers asked me, and I was like, if you really want to know, why don't you just go talk to my mom? 5th grade was a bit of a doozy because that really showed me what being a girl means. So the first thing is that I got made fun of for trying to try out for the wrestling team. There was this group of boys, I'd been going to school with them since kindergarten, and they were laughing when I was talking about it to some of the other classmates, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to try out, and they were like, girls can't wrestle, you're not strong enough, and kept going on and on and on and on, and I'm like, I could probably take you right now. Like, just let me do it. Let's hop out of this lunch line and let's do it, because I really did not like it when I was younger when people would think less of me because I was a girl. 6th grade is so not the easiest grade for me to talk about. So, 6th grade, pretty much the main gist is that I got sexually harassed and assaulted by a group of boys. Within the group, 2 boys specifically were kind of like running it, and it seriously changed my life, and it limited the amount of people that I trust. I really don't trust people. I don't like the male species. I'm working on that, but it still affects me to this day. So pretty much it started out as me feeling like someone was looking at me, and I was right, because I would catch them looking at pretty much my upper and lower privates. And after so many times, I decided to bring a zip up with me to school, because I would always get cold and then hot and then cold and then hot. So I would just put it on and zip it up. And then when I noticed that they were still looking, then I started hearing comments about my body, what they do to me, that they would like to tap it, and all of these really gross, nasty comments. Like, it was not good to listen to at all. It made me feel very self-conscious, uncomfortable. Like, even now just talking about it, like, literally I feel the blood rushing to my face. And after that, there were 2 incidents in particular that really contributed to this whole entire thing. So the first one is that we were all coming back from lunch to go to math class, and I was making my way to the table. We were at long tables at this time, so I think like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of us were sitting at a table, and I was about to sit down, but then one of the boys came up behind me and made the motion of pelvic thrusting me into the table 3 times. I couldn't form words. I couldn't say anything. All I felt was literally I was still, like, my body was still, but all the blood was rushing throughout my body, and I felt my heart and heard it going boom, 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 and that was it. And then the teacher snapped at me for being up still, and I tried to explain myself. I wasn't allowed to explain myself, and so after that happened, I think this was either a couple days or a couple weeks later, a group of the classmates and I were playing Foursquare. If you guys don't know what that is, that's pretty much where you have the ball and you have to hit it to each other in each of the 4 squares. And one of us had hit it hard, and I just said, hey, I'll go grab it. And I went to grab it, and of course, the boys came up, and one of them actually grabbed my arm, and it was pretty much like this, like standard. But the longer that we were standing there, and the more that I told him to let go of my arm, to stop, he was hurting me. Because the longer it went on, the harder that he squeezed, and he actually squeezed and held me so tightly that a little while after that, I actually had bruises on my arm. And that was pretty much the breaking point of me wanting to go to school with these kids. So I actually went home and I started crying, and I told my mom, I was like, I can't go to school with these kids anymore, Mom. I don't want to go anymore. And I can only imagine what my mom felt in that moment, because literally within 5 minutes, she was on the phone with the principal at the school talking about what was going on. And this is where things started to get a little bit worse, because when I went back to school, they had called my friends and I down to the principal's office, and this is because when it started happening to me, it started happening to the people I hung out with during school, and they called us down, and I was actually told that I was in the wrong for trying to do something about it, so I was told to stop and to just let it run its course, which I totally disagreed with 100%. But then right after they were done talking to us and we got back to the classroom, literally within 30 seconds of us getting back to the classroom, they called the boys down. I was like, if that's not a dead giveaway, I don't know what is a dead giveaway, because you totally just put a target on all of our bats for the rest of the school year. And for the rest of the school year, it really was like a target on our bats. Every boy knew I lost my friends. No one wanted to talk to me. My teachers silently judged me, because I can tell when someone's judging me. I've been able to tell my entire life. And the thing that really upset me was that in gym class we had a ballroom dancing day where we were learning the different styles of dance, and that day was ballroom, and I had to dance with every single boy that was doing this to me. And I couldn't say no. I was given a partner and I had to dance with that partner. Try talking to my teacher. She didn't want to hear it. Next in band, another girl. I had a lot of like girl enemies in school. She thought that it would be funny to move my band stuff from my chair during practice. While I was going to the restrooms, I had all my stuff set up and I had asked the band director if I could go to the restroom, and I did. I came back and I went to my chair and this girl was sitting in my seat, and I asked her, I was like, what are you doing? You're sitting in my spot. And she's like, well, your stuff isn't here. I'm like, it was here. Where'd it go? And she wouldn't tell me, so I was looking around the band room looking all confused, got in trouble by the band director because I was up and out of my seat, tried to explain myself, and they just said sit down and start practice. So 7th and 8th grade are actually combined, because after 6th grade and everything that happened, and I meant it when I said I could not go to school with these kids anymore, I decided to go to Wisconsin Virtual Academy, which basically it's still like public schooling, but it's completely online and you only have to meet people. I think it was like twice. And during this time, not only did I actually pretty much lose my two best friends, one that I had for 6 years, one for 7 years, but I also started getting cyber bullied a lot. And this is actually something that a lot of my family doesn't know about. So during this time, Snapchat was becoming a thing, Instagram was becoming a thing, and Facebook had been a thing. And also this leads into high school when Musical.ly was still Musical.ly before TikTok, the YouNow live streaming app. I got cyberbullied so much on these platforms about how I looked, my teeth, my weight, my body, what I was doing. I wasn't cool enough. And then I had people that I went to school with previously come and fill up my messages with nasty hate comments, harassing me. And it actually got to the point where my mom actually came onto my Facebook and she was messaging from my account saying that this is Keely's mom. If you contact her again, I will be calling the police. This is harassment, because people kept bombarding me on my social media. And it got to the point where it wasn't fun being on social media. And then back to my friends. The one friend, we kind of just drifted apart and she found another group that she liked to hang out with. And the other one, I actually still like, it hurts this day. We still talk today, not as like friendly as it was before, but pretty much she called me. I had been trying to contact her to try to have like sleepovers or something. And apparently, it got put into her head that I was obsessed with her and that I was being overdramatic, making her feel guilty and like she wasn't doing enough. And this is coming from my friend's mom. And we got on the phone and she basically told me that we couldn't be best friends anymore because of what was going on, how I was being too needy, and also with me moving across the country. And this conversation happened so long ago. I just remember that I threw the phone down outside and I was crying and I was very upset. I felt like my whole world was crashing down, because out of all the people that I was friends with and out of all the people that I loved to talk to and cared for and treated like my own family, she was the last person that I would have expected to basically dump me like that. And I know that it could have gone down nicer. There was probably a nicer way to do it. But what really got me is that it came out a little while after that some of her friends actually convinced her to stop being friends with me. I was so depressed after that phone conversation. I didn't eat. I didn't sleep. I didn't do my schoolwork. I literally laid on the couch in my grandparents' back office and sat there with my eyes open looking at the ceiling in a dark room. And I seriously felt like I was never going to make another friend again and that I was totally let down. My heart was broken because literally I treated her like she was my sister, and she's still a nice person today. I've seen her grow on social media. I've seen her singing channel, and I'm just like, I'm happy for you, and she's happy for me. I just feel like definitely, besides drifting apart, the way that we parted was not nice, and it could have been done a lot better. Oh, the great high school experience. But freshman Friday was very terrifying for me because not only did there's basically a target on every freshman's back and face because only the freshmen had to carry around these big, bulky black binders. So for me, on freshman Friday, I got grabbed a lot in my parts and everything. Shoved into lockers, pulled my hair, they pushed me down the stairs, shoved a pencil up my behind, and then I also got called a lot of names, and I got pushed to the ground a couple of times. And it honestly, that day was seriously the worst day out of my high school experience because I didn't know why this was happening to me. Like, this is really happening to me because I'm carrying around a black binder. And it stunk. After that day, I seriously did not want to go back. But I apparently grew a pair and I went back. So, yeah, Freshman Friday exists, and I really hope that no one else goes through it like I did because it's so not fun. And then the marshmallow rumor started. Pretty much in aerobics class, this boy had grabbed my butt, honestly, and made a comment about how it felt squishy like a marshmallow. And I honestly was really, really offended, not because of what was said, but because of the fact that, like, I was grabbed and then this was said. And then within a couple of hours, this was around the school, and this literally followed me up to the point of graduating. Like, hey, marshmallow, like, my best friend now, like, she laughs about it, and if she does it, it's okay because, like, she knows and everything. And it just, with everyone else doing it, they weren't doing it in a friendly way. They were doing it in a way like, you know, oh, you should tap that or find out. And I was just like, you guys are totally making me feel so uncomfortable right now. Like, why you gotta talk like that? And then this is gonna probably sound really weird. It wasn't as much as a bullying thing, but this was actually kind of like me standing my ground and actually talking for the first time in high school. So this boy kept throwing this tennis ball in math class, and it kept hitting my chair. So the first time I looked up from my work. So I was like down, lifted at my work, doing my math, and I looked up. The second time I turned around and he was picking up the ball and said, sorry. The third time, I turned around and I was like, can you please stop? I'm trying to do my work. So no one heard me that time because I was still very, very quiet. But then the fourth time when that ball hit my chair, I stood up, I picked the ball up, and I walked over to this boy's chair, and I was like, stop throwing this, please. I'm trying to do my work. And I set it on the table, went back to my desk, and I realized that the teacher and everyone else was looking at me because I never spoke in the entirety of being in that class. Up to that point, I never spoke. They all heard me speak, and I was like, I'm gonna do my work now. I was so scared when I saw everyone looking at me, but at the same time, I was getting annoyed. Like, stop hitting my chair with your ball. You're supposed to be doing your homework, not throwing things around the classroom. Like, I don't understand. With all of that happening during freshman year, there was a day at the beginning of the semester where I went into math and there was a prompt on the board. So pretty much my math teacher, I love this about my math teacher and his class. He would always have like these prompts up on the board, like life related and life lessons, kind of in like little prompts. And someone would have to answer one once a day. Everyone else would have to write their answer down. And the day that I went in and I realized that not only was this teacher different from literally every single teacher that I've met in my life, but I realized that he's really there for the students. The prompt was, what is the hardest thing for you about coming to school? And I tried to not look at anybody, but I felt like someone was looking at me, so like I kind of peeked over, and he said, "You." And I was like, "Me?" He's like, "Yeah." You guys, my heart was pounding. My heart was pounding. I didn't know what to say. I remember it started out as, like, what else are you gonna say? So what I said was something along the lines of, the hardest thing about coming to school for me is trying to get from class to class without being bullied or pushed into a locker. And he said, "That happens to you?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Laugh in their face." So after that, every single day he would stand outside of his classroom and he would ask me how I was doing today, if everything was okay, if I needed to talk. And from that point forward, literally every day from that day to the last day of senior year, I stopped by his classroom to talk to him. He helped me through everything. I could talk to him about my home life, school life. Him, other teachers, and some of the staff members are seriously, like, I owe so much to them because they helped me gain my confidence, self-love. I would not be the person I am today without them, and he is the first one that started showing me that there were better people in the world. I literally had no faith in people when I moved here, but that all changed when I started going to his class. 10th grade. Oh my goodness, we are going to start with the thing that scared me the most. So, there was this taser game that people would play where pretty much where like your sides, people would take their fingers and go bam, and like it pretty much make you jump. And one of the boys I was in class with, this was actually in a world history class, he actually did it too low and way too hard than you're supposed to do it. So I did report it because it made me feel very uncomfortable, and he tried like tickling me and stuff afterwards, and I was just like, I'm not feeling this. Like, I don't want you touching me that way. After that happened, I of course went and told my math teacher that had been helping me through everything, and he took me up to the assistant principal's office. I wrote a statement, and the very next day, they must have talked to him because the very next day he came in and he was walking fast. I didn't see him because I was getting my stuff ready to start class, like my notes and stuff, and he slammed his hands down on my desk and he scared the crud out of me. And I looked up and I was just like, what is going on? And I didn't say anything, and he's like, "I can't believe you told them that. You're such a liar." And I'm like, I told them what you did, and I didn't like it, and I told you I didn't like it. So after that, he kept trying to argue with me, and I said literally, like, you just need to leave. And because they switched his class, he wasn't even supposed to be there. But then my teacher for that class told him he needed to leave because I had told her what happened, and he almost refused, and it took him a while to get out of that classroom. So after that happened, he actually started trying to follow me around school and talk to me. And I didn't want to talk to him. Like, he tried to confront me in the cafeteria, like trying to talk to me with a bathroom pass, coming into lunch and talking to me. He tried following me by the girls' bathroom, was outside my classes, and I finally, like, I had to stop going to the cafeteria and trying to find ways to stay away from him. There was a little bump in the road with chemistry. So we were trying to learn about the periodic table, and I didn't understand it. My teacher was trying to repeat it to me. Like I said, I had a little bit of a more difficult time understanding things with a quickness like other kids and other students. So while I was trying to learn this, the boy next to me was like, "Oh my God, are you serious?" And I was just like, I'm trying. And he wanted to keep going, and the teacher snapped at him, and then I was very quiet. But after he said it again, I was like, look, I'm trying and I'm doing the best that I can. If that's not good enough for you, maybe you should get out. 11th grade, not too much to tell, except for the fact that this mainly revolved around my belly dancing. So if you guys don't know, I am a belly dancer, and come junior year, I did have a belly dance club. I did solo performances, pep rallies, shadow days, talent shows, and all that jazz. I actually got called a slut and a whore. Told that I was showing too much skin, I was doing it for attention, and then there were those that said that I couldn't dance, I was too white to dance, I shouldn't move like that like a white girl, you can't do that, you're just a getting down. And I was like, I don't see you out here dancing. So when it comes to belly dancing, I actually get really, really defensive. And I'm like, I don't see you coming out there. I don't see you showing up to my practices. And I sure don't see you trying to try out to be one of my officers. So you can say what you're going to say, but if you're going to say it, you need to go elsewhere because I don't want to hear it come out of your mouth. I stood up for myself when it came to that. But also, this year is when IBS became a thing for me and bullying became a trigger, because if you guys don't know, IBS leads to anxiety, stress, and depression. That will lead to IBS triggers if you're not taking care of yourself. So during junior and senior year, I was drinking way too much caffeine, not eating, not sleeping, stressing myself out, always anxious, really hit depression, and everything finally made my body crash. And it took so many specialists and doctors to finally come down to the conclusion that, hey, you probably have IBS, you need to tone it down. So that is pretty much how everything ended up giving me IBS. There was this boy in my food science class, and I could not stand him. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, I could not stand this boy. And he had like a very hyper personality, but he was also very inappropriate, and I couldn't focus around him, and he was always in my personal space, and I was just like, can you just leave me alone? Like, back up and just leave me alone. So one of the days we were supposed to hit the laptop, so I went to hit the laptop, and we had words a couple days before this, and I went back to grab a laptop, and while I'm walking back to my desk, he's walking back, and he grabbed my arm, and I said, what are you doing? He's like, I want you to come here. And I said, no, let go. And he says, no, come here. And he kept pulling me this way, and I yanked back this way and almost fell. For 12th grade, it wasn't as much of a bullying thing, but I really stopped caring about pretty much everything because my dog and my rabbit actually passed away a little bit over a month from each other after I got back from a school trip, and I pretty much let my depression take over my life. I gained weight, had low self-esteem, I hated my body, I was gaining weight. I actually had teachers ask me if I was gaining weight, and things were being pointed out, and people tried helping me, and I just honestly didn't want to hear it. But then about halfway through senior year, things started to kick in, like, hey, I need to do this, I'm going to graduate. So then, for whatever reason, I had a literally remarkable recovery after senior year, and I graduated, and everything just got better from that point. In college, the biggest thing that I would consider to be being bullied or stereotyped or picked on would be that when I had IBS and I was figuring out my gluten intolerance and things, I had so many people ask me if I was pregnant, if I was fat. I was told that I was fat, and then I had people that had the audacity to come and touch my stomach and be like, oh, congratulations. I'm like, please get your hand off my stomach. And they're like, wait, what? And I'm like, I'm not pregnant. And at this time, I was also very moody, because if you guys don't know, if you have an intolerance to a food and you ingest that food, you get very crabby, very snippy, you have an attitude, you're sassy, and these people really honestly just drove me nuts throughout all of college. That's pretty much the only thing that I would consider being troublesome or being picked on or anything, or even being judged. So after being bullied and picked on all throughout grade school, middle school, high school, and college, there is, of course, bullying at home and sibling bullying. I'm not going to go into every single detail, but I am just going to tell you guys a couple of the things that have been said to me and that have really, really honestly hurt my feelings. The first thing is that one of my family members actually said that they were surprised that I hadn't committed suicide yet. That one hurt, but I used that as motivation to get to where I am today. Am I stupid? Am I dumb? Are you dyslexic? And then I know that my siblings probably joke around about this, but they still to this day ask my mom if I'm really like their sister, if I'm really her child, is she sure that I'm not adopted? And I know that these things don't seem like they would be that serious, but they actually do make me feel hurt a lot, and it really does hurt thinking that sometimes my siblings don't want me to be their siblings, they don't want me to help them, but then for whatever reason they always end up coming back and needing my help. So I'm just like, okay, well, it still hurts, but I use every single one of those comments or assumptions as my motivation to move forward, become a better person, and it also shows me that no matter what, that I can still handle anything that's thrown in my path. So, over the 18 years of being picked on, bullied, harassed, assaulted, everything, there are 5 things that I think that every single one of you guys should know if you guys are trying to overcome your bullying, prevent it, if you guys want to help someone else, if this video would help someone else. So number 1, as I just said, is to think of every single bully and bullying incident as your motivation to move forward. Number 2 is to never, ever let setbacks bring you down from where you are. Number 3 is something that I actually learned from my math teacher and also one of the APs at my high school. And that is to learn to love yourself. And loving yourself is not as simple as doing self-care, taking pride in your appearance. No, you have to love yourself from the inside out. Compliment yourself. How people are like, hey, I look good today, that kind of thing. Like, you need to hype yourself up. And you need to show yourself that you are worth it, you are beautiful, you are strong, you are independent, and you can do anything that you set your mind to, you guys. So one of the things that actually this math teacher and an AP did for me is I was actually walking down the hall. I would literally walk like this every day. I would have my binder and I'd be looking down and just walking fast to class just like this every single day, right? They stopped me. They would not let me go to my class until I looked up, had my head held high, and smiled and walked to class like this every single day until it actually started becoming a normal thing for me. And it helped boost my confidence so much. And I learned to self-love. I amped up my self-esteem. It was just an amazing transition. Something so little, you guys, can really make the biggest impact on your life and a huge difference with how you see yourself and how you interact with other people. Number 4, like I said, you want to try to amp up your self-esteem. I know this seems really difficult and way easier said than done, but there are activities. If you guys want to know how I amped up my self-esteem, just give this video a big thumbs up and I would gladly do for you guys. But that one is really something more for another video because it's honestly a lot to talk about. And number 5, do not change yourself, your appearance, or how you do things to be a people pleaser. You guys, I almost fell into this category, and I just want to tell you guys, stay true to yourself, stay true to what you love, show your passions to the world, and don't let anyone ever change that, because once you become a people pleaser, you fall into the crowd, and there's nothing unique about you anymore. Stand out from the crowd. I really hope that you guys took away at least one thing from this video, whether that was how to handle a certain situation, if it was one of the tips to try to overcome your bullying, or if you also have an experience and you guys would like to share it with me and everyone else that's watching this video, leave it down in the comments, because honestly, I would love to help as many of you as possible. And as someone who went through so much and has moved past it and is also continuing to thrive every day, I want to help each and every one of you. You guys can contact me either in the comments, on my Instagram, Twitter, or even my Snapchat or my email. You guys can just contact me if you guys want to talk or anything. I'm here for you. You guys know that I'm here for you. And also, if you guys want to shop any of the merch that I have for my YouTube channel and also for our lovely YouTube family, you guys can also check the link down in the description box below. In addition to following all of the social media so that you will always be updated on what's going on and seeing the brand new content, updates, and new things that are coming out and about, because there are some more things here in the works for you guys. I hope that you all are continuing to stay safe, healthy, and continuing to be the best people that you all could possibly be. And without further ado, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! Love you guys!